Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Gymnasium Tailgate. As always, I am your illustrious host, XFL Jim, joined by my amazing, beautiful, lovely co-host, the Gulf Coast guru himself, Magic fucking Mike. How you doing, buddy?
What is going on, my friend? I am doing fantastic. We are less than a week away, and I couldn't be more excited. There really are no words, sir.
This is the week. It literally is happening this week. This time next week, we will be recapping games.
Yes, exactly.
It's so beautiful to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll even have some surprises even in the week 0. I mean, it never fails. There's some stupid games on, and I still can't wait to watch them. Can't wait, dude. I'm stoked. It's going to be a great weekend.
So fucking hyped. And to start out with, like the AP polls out, the coaches poll is out. How do you feel about preseason, like media polls and coach polls? The coaches don't fill out the coaches poll; it's the assistants, but still.
Yeah, and I still feel like most of the people on the staff for the coaches poll, they still have better shit to do than really look at all, 130 teams and give it a fair shake. I think theirs is probably just as generic as the AP poll, except for the thing with the AP poll is they don't have a real reason to be as generic as they are. They just give it the name brand and they go with it. And it's really frustrating to me. It would not bother me at all if it didn't affect the season, to be honest.
Like the AP poll is probably the one that bothers me the most, just because the fucking the media could change it up and be weird with it, but they decide not to.
Yeah, they just go as generic as possible. I mean, you got teams like Alabama. I mean, just to go Alabama. I mean, yeah, okay, they're number 1, and that sounds fine. Everything's okay with that. But when you really break down their roster and look at how much new that they have, how many new pieces they have, I mean, doesn't it just feel lazy just to make Alabama number 1? I mean, what are you looking at preseason that tells you that that's the best roster in the country?
You're really just looking at Alabama.
Exactly. Name brand. And that wouldn't matter if later in the season we weren't talking about a team that beats, say a number 11 ranked Florida, which I think is massively overrated. If somebody knocks off number 11 ranked Florida, well, now that looks like you beat a number 11 team, when in all actuality, they shouldn't have been number 11 in the first place. So I'm not a huge fan of it. I think they're fun if they didn't affect the game, because, hell, I do it every year. I make rankings every year in the preseason based off of what I see on the rosters, but they don't affect shit,
That's true. And speaking of which, that's exactly what we're going to do right fucking now. My boy, Renegade Jim, saying, what's up, my homie? He's all on Clemson at number 1. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, but they're not mine.
I guess we'll get there, but yeah, they're not mine either.
And then B-Ho chiming in. What's up, fellas? What's up, B-Ho? Let's fucking go. I'll start it off. Top 25, the XFL Gym, top 25. Since preseason polls and polls in general do not matter to me whatsoever, I picked exclusively with my gut. And that's all I go for. I don't go for analytics. I don't go for anything besides just a gut feel. That's how I pick. That's what I went with. My 25 team is the Nevada Wolfpack.
Dude, that's fair enough. They are unranked by the AP poll, which suggests that they did not look at that roster on that
They
team.
did get a couple votes, though.
Yeah, which is, everybody kind of got a couple votes,
That's fair.
I mean, not everybody, but almost.
I don't think Minnesota did. I don't think Minnesota got any votes.
They didn't. Yeah, I heard them talking about that over on SGPN, and I thought that was pretty damn ridiculous. I don't know how that works, but my 25, I went Penn State. Their AP roll ranked 19.
That's not bad. I like that one. That's pretty darn good. 24 for me. I got Oklahoma State. I think Mike Gundy. That offense is on fire. To me, it depends on the defense. They always have a killer offense, and I think that quarterback people aren't talking about him. He's a sleeper.
Yeah, Spencer Sanders is a dual threat. He's a tricky quarterback. I mean, if he cuts down on his mistakes, that could be 2 more wins for Oklahoma State right this year that you weren't expecting, because that team has the talent to contend with anybody. Spencer Sanders is a really, really good quarterback. I like him a lot. I think OK State will end up probably in the 25 at the end of the year. Look, I agree with BO right there.
BO with the comment, Gundy cut his mullet, his coaching powers are gone. Possibly, but he could grow the mullet during the season too.
And that could be a magical thing. Yeah, maybe have a thing where he just doesn't cut it at all until the end of the season. Let it roll. You never know, man. You never know. I went Auburn. They're not ranked in the AP poll. I'm going Auburn. Harson's having a weird off season so far, but I still trust the guy. I still think he has a lot of talent left on that team from what Malzahn left him. And I think his efficient style of offense that he brings over from Boise can really work perfectly with Bo Nix and Tank Bigsby in particular. So that's my number 24 as far as talent.
That's fair. Auburn is in that kind of same category as LSU to me, where I have no idea what to think of them. They're both just like completely random, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really is strange. I actually don't have LSU in my 25 at all for that reason.
I don't have either. I don't have either of them, if I'm being honest. 23, and I see what I have here at 23, and I don't like it, and I want to change it. So you go first on 23.
Okay.
I had Michigan.
Oh, hey man, stick to your guns.
You know what? Yeah, I've been high on Michigan all fucking year. Give me the Michigan Wolverine, number 23. I think Harbaugh. I think the defense it goes back to what it was even just 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and I think we don't see any dudes on the team right now, but I think some will emerge. I think there'll be a running back and a wide receiver that kind of like separate themselves and make themselves known in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and hopefully a quarterback as well. I'm pulling for him. I like when Michigan football's good. I like when the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry exists. I am pulling for that team. Harbaugh got to prove it to me and the people that cut his checks and just about everyone else, but I don't have a problem with it. You know they're always going to have the talent on the roster, and that defense is legitimate still. I went in the Big Ten as well with another team that has a lot to prove this year. AP ranked number 13 Wisconsin. They're going to be my 23. I'm not a big Graham Mertz guy. I really want to see this team have a running back roll out, but I do think that their defense is just as stingy as ever, one of the better defenses on paper that I see in the country. So I do think they're a talented team. I think the main thing is going to be the running back. They really got to identify it.
I've got them a little bit higher up, but yeah, they definitely. I'm more of a Graham Mertz believer. I think his potential that he showed in just game one, if he can unlock that for an entire season, he might be the best quarterback in the West.
That would be something. I think it's so much the coaches as opposed to just the quarterbacks as well. They just never open it up, and it's hard to ask them to do it when it comes time. So we'll see, man. I hope.
We'll see. My 22 team, I hope Beho's still watching because it's the Kentucky Wildcats. This team, I didn't have on this high. I didn't think I would have on this high, but when I look at their schedule and I look at what they have, what they're like returning, and the pieces they have, I think they could potentially be a dark horse for the East.
I think I was closer to ranking Missouri in the 25, in my top 25, and I didn't get to them. I think those are the two sleepers as far as if you take out Georgia and Florida, those are the next two teams up.
Yeah.
It's more so that I do think they have talent on that team. I'm not completely sold on it. I got to see more, but that's the reason they would be under Missouri is I think Missouri's more talented, but I think Kentucky's schedule does line up better, especially with having Missouri at home. So,
I could honestly swap Missouri or Kentucky in this spot. I don't have Missouri on here just for that reason. I feel like I just went with one of the two, and I picked Kentucky. Maybe after week one, I'll have Missouri there.
Hey, man, come end of the season when Kentucky's ranked in the top 20, you're going to look like a genius, and it's going to happen because that schedule breaks perfect.
There we fucking go.
My 22, I am a fucking liar. I do have LSU. They're right here, number 22. AP polls number 16 team. Like we said, it's really hard to break this team down. Talent-wise, they could be a top 10 team. but they're bringing back so much from last year where it didn't look good. So I didn't know what the hell to do with them. Had to put them somewhere. I put them at 22.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that's just super insane. They're a coin flip to me. 21, Boise State for me. I think it's the premier program in the Mountain West. Got to have them here. I just think they're just consistent. I'm worried about coaching turnover, possibly, but they're the most talented team in the conference. They've earned this spot to me.
Yeah, I mean, they're everybody's favorite G5 going into every season, and it makes perfect sense. Like you said, they've earned it. Andy Avalos, he's a first-year head coach, but he did a hell of a job as DC at Oregon, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a hell of a job there. They had a much better defense that year than they have in a while. So I like him, and I think he's going to do well. I don't know. I think for me, it's more Bachmeier that I'm questioning at this point, and I think he is the one with the edge in camp. I think Sears actually just got hurt this past week, so I think it is going to be Bachmeier, and that dude has a lot to prove to me. I'm just not sold on him yet. But speaking of not being sold on something, my 21 is Arizona State. They are the AP polls 25. Talent-wise, this team, again, could potentially crest into the top 15 for me with what's on paper, but with what's going on there, what the hell do you make of them?
I had Arizona State right outside. I think with the turmoil kind of going on right there, it's hard for me to put them in the top 25, but they're right on the cusp. And if they come out the gates guns blazing, they could very easily see themselves in the top 15.
Exactly. And I think the AP poll kind of reflects us. They put them at 25. I feel like it was just this team has to be ranked, but we don't fucking know where. So bang.
Exactly. Number 20, lining up for a huge week 1 matchup. I have UCF right here. I think UCF, they are going to be people are counting them out. People are counting out the Golden Knights. People are just like, oh, it's Cincinnati's conference just locked up. And they forget that UCF is a good fucking team, and Gus Malzahn always has some fucking tricks up his sleeve.
Man, are we just blessed as a country to have that game on a Thursday to look forward to. I can't fucking wait. I have no damn idea what is really going to shake out of that game, but I know the bounce house is going to be absolutely rocking. Everybody's going to be extremely excited about it. Man, I don't think you can go wrong having those two teams ranked. I'm high on them too. So yeah, let's see if there's a little Malzahn magic.
I think you got to put them right next to each other too. You got I don't think one is that much better than the other.
No, I think it's going to be tough. I mean, UCF has a lot to prove on defense. I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 20, I went with a G5 team as well at number 20. AP polls number 22 ranked Coastal Carolina. Now, this team could have been higher, gauged off of what they did last year and what they're bringing back, which is pretty much everything from last year. I think the thing that my mind keeps wrapping around with Coastal Carolina is that last year was such a weird year in general, and they run a very, very weird offense, just an option offense. I think they're still going to be very good, but I don't think they're going to catch teams as off guard as they did last year. So it's kind of like another wait and see on Coastal for me this year. I hope they're great. They have a lot back. I love the team, but I'm keeping them down at 20 for now.
I actually have them as my number 19 team.
Nice.
I just think they're returning so much. That offense was fucking lights out. It's interesting to see if they can compete at that level another year, 2 years in a row. You're possibly worried about a sophomore slump, but I don't. I'm really rooting for Grayson McCall here.
I am too, man. What a fun player, man. Number 19, I went with a team that is not ranked by the AP poll. I went UCLA. I'm just sticking with my guns. It looks to me that Chip Kelly has the roster this year to make some noise. He has the quarterback in place. He has a good running back. He has receiving targets. The defense has just enough to keep them in games that if it's a shootout, they can hang around. I don't know. I think this team has everything Chip Kelly needs to start making a legitimate run in the Pac-12. And, I mean, I'm not putting a Texas or something like that over them. No fucking way. So I got UCLA.
Way. I am You know what? I just noticed I don't even have UCLA in my top 25. They are right on the outside. They're like a 27. They're kind of right out there because they're one of those coin flip teams I don't know exactly what to think about. My number 18 team is a team that I believe has so much potential, but I had to knock them down just because of last year. I know they had a lot of issues, but it is the Minnesota Golden Gophers at 18. They're alive for the Big Ten West, in my opinion, but just based off of last year and based off of some inconsistencies and some worry on their lines, I had to put them. They're my third Big Ten West team. I'll just say that.
That's fair enough. I love the Golden Gophers this year. I mean, we talked about it before. They didn't have any votes in the AP poll to be ranked in the top 25. And I thought that was really surprising. And now I'm like looking at my paper and I'm like, I didn't fucking rank them in my top 25 either. And I think that's just why, is there are so many question marks. You know, deep down, you know, PJ Fleck's going to have this thing going. You know, this team's going to be good. They have enough guys back. It's just, you got to wait a couple weeks to see it, I guess, you know?
That's fair. Yeah, that's probably the safer bet, is just wait and see with Minnesota, because you'll probably know. I mean, you'll probably know week one what this team.
Week one, we're gonna know.
If they're even competitive against Ohio State, this is going to be a pretty good team.
I can't wait for that fucking game. My number 18 is going to be the Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajuns, ranked number 23 in the AP poll. This team has a lot to prove. They have some tough wins that they're going to have to get on their schedule. They're going to have to beat Coastal if they want to win the Sun Belt. They're going to have to beat Texas week one to make some noise. They got Liberty on the schedule. This team has a lot of things to prove. But, I mean, if they roll through their schedule right and Cincy either overperforms and goes undefeated or drops a few games, ULL could be looking at the New Year's 6 games, the G5 slot. So, I really like what Lafayette brings back. I think Billy Napier and Levi Lewis are just winners, and I can't wait to watch that week one game against Texas. I just can't fucking wait.
I'm there lockstep with you. I think ULL is one of the premier G5 teams. The Sun Belt, I think, has definitely separated itself from the likes of the MAC and the CUSA. I think they're starting to reach a potential, like they're climbing their way up to the Mountain West and the AAC levels with 3 legit teams, if not more. It's a deep
they're getting there, man. I agree. And you have a triple option team in that conference too. That's awesome. I mean, there's a lot of. It's called the Fun Belt for a reason, dude. It's fun. It's
sweet. Awesome. I have them a little bit higher. My number 17 team, the USC Trojans. They're the team to beat in the South. I think the way they've been recruiting has been pretty actually underrated this last couple of years. I think the last 2 years, Clay Helton's been kind of getting it back on track. And I think any given year, USC could have a year like, what was it, 2017, 2018, where they went to the Rose Bowl and went 10-2. Mm-hmm. That's never out of the question with this team. And I think Keaton Slovis is a real good quarterback, and I think there's a lot of the times they're just a quarterback away.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I have them at number 16, so I'm real close with you right there, actually. And then the AP poll has them at 15. So we're all right in that range on that team, and I agree with everything you said. The thing I don't like is Clay Helton, quite frankly. I mean, I do like him as a coach. I don't like him as a coach of USC. The air raid does not belong at USC. I can't believe that I don't even know off the top of my head. I have no idea who the fucking running back for the USC Trojans is this year. It blows my mind.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, dude, I hate it. So I'm pulling for that team. I want to see USC be good again because I miss the Pac-12 being quirky in big spots and, I don't know, having a shot at making the fucking playoff. I miss it. I hope they're really good. I think they have a lot of talent, like you said. My number 17, I actually went with Notre Dame, which is the AP poll's number 9. This is my favorite team, man. I got them all over the wall. This is my team. I just don't see what everybody's so fucking pumped up about. The schedule is really hard. Okay, that doesn't go into my rankings, but the fact that they only bring back a few pieces on offense and they lose their D coordinator, I know they bring in Marcus Freeman, but Clark Lee did a hell of a job. I just don't know. And I think what we're really going to see, I think the problem with Notre Dame that I'm most worried about is I think that with their run game and Jack Cohn's he's going to complete about 75% of his fucking passes this year. It's going to be phenomenal. But if they get pushed into a spot where they got to move the ball downfield, that's where it's going to become an issue. So some of those games, if it's a shootout, I'm worried.
Yeah, if it's a shootout, would be the only time I'm worried. Brian Kelly, I think, has proven himself that he can take just about anybody and make a passable quarterback behind the Notre Dame offensive line. I think they'll be good. I have them a little bit higher. I have them at my 15 spot. I think that schedule does, as hard as the schedule is, with so many teams getting bye weeks before Notre Dame, it lines up pretty well where their toughest games generally are at home.
Yeah.
And I think Brian Kelly to me has almost proven it at this point.
I'm never gonna like that man.
I mean, I hate him. I fucking hate Brian Kelly, but he's a good coach.
I did finally admit to somebody in this offseason. I told them if Brian Kelly wins 9 games this year, I promise you I will respect him as a coach. And I guess we'll see. I hope I don't have to eat those fucking words.
He's a good coach. I just fucking hate the guy. My number 16 team is the Iowa Hawkeyes. I've been talked basically into this by another podcast co-host, the Degenerates Corner. Garrett from Iowa has basically talked me into this. Kirk Ferentz is always he's the most consistent man in college football. And that defense is going to be good. The offensive line is going to be good. They have some decent positions at like receiver and skill positions. The only worry for me is Petrus. And I think he develops. He showed some life at the end of last year, and I think he keeps that momentum going into this year. And he's actually looking pretty decent. Watch out for Iowa. This could be, I mean, if all things go according to plan, this could be like a 10-2 year.
Yeah, I don't have Iowa ranked because I just don't see it yet. I mean, I know they're going to show it in the season, though. I know they're going to be a good team, and I'll tell you right now, they are going to beat the fuck out of Indiana week 1. I promise you that. Mm-hmm. So I am high on this Iowa team. I think they're going to be very good. I'm waiting a minute just to see it start to pan out. But that running back, Goodson, I love that dude. I think the running game and the defense is going to hold it down. And then Petrus, I think basically all he's got to do is not fuck up.
It all comes down to Petrus, and I like this. The staple of an Iowa quarterback is just being decent.
Yeah, just don't turn the ball over.
Yep, that's all you got to do. Just literally be a game manager, and you'll be fine.
My 16, we already said, was USC, so we're back on you for 15, I think.
And my 15, we already talked about Notre Dame. It's just Brian Kelly he's a good coach. I hate the guy, but he's a good coach. And go for your number 15.
My 15 is going to be UNC, AP Poll's top 10 team, the number 10. I don't know how they're in the top 10 in the AP poll. I really have no fucking idea other than Mac Brown is the coach of UNC, and they just wanted to do that. I don't see it with the roster. They lost 2 of their best running backs. They lost 2 of their top wide receivers. I mean, they lost a lot on offense. That's the strong suit because their defense sucks. So, I don't know how they're top 10. I think they're going to be a good team. I think 9 or 10 wins is about where they're going to be. But as far as ranking them preseason based off of what I see on the roster, they got some shit to prove to me.
Yeah, I think so. They've obviously been stepping it up in the recruiting category under Mac Brown, but I think that's going to wait to prove itself until like 2023. I have them a little bit higher. I still don't have them in my top 10. That's just a little too high right now. In my opinion, it's kind of just trying to give Clemson a boost.
Mm-hmm.
My number 14 team, we already talked about a little bit, the Wisconsin Badgers. Basically, I have them this high. Defense is going to be one of the top defenses in the entire nation. And they don't have a running back right now that has presented itself, but I just trust that Wisconsin will have a dude back there at running back behind those big, giant offensive linemen. And I'm high on Graham Mertz. I think he could be the best Wisconsin quarterback since Russell Wilson, which isn't saying much. They haven't had a ton of good ones, but like if he's over Jack Cohn or if he's over Hornibrook, if he's better than Hornibrook, this will be a good team.
You're fucking better than Hornibrook.
Hey, dude, don't fucking discount Heisman, bro.
Man, I saw him play live. He went because he transferred to Florida State.
Yeah, he did.
Florida State really Louisville. Ugh, everything was really bad there. That was not an impressive performance at Doak Campbell for that game. They played Louisville. They did end up winning because Louisville was nowhere in the ballpark of talent. But anyway, my number 14 is going to be Nevada, not ranked by the AP poll. You had them down in the 20s. I'm going to put my G5 faith all in Nevada this year. I'm so fucking high on this roster.
So Nevada was my pick to win the Mountain West, and they still are. But until I see it on the field, I have to put them in the 25 just because they haven't proven it to me yet. I need to see it in front of my eyeballs first.
I'm totally down with that. I do. I mean, they went 7-1 last year, so we did see something out of them. We did see a push out of them where we know this team is talented. They have 11 seniors starting on their defense, and then just the nastiest offense you could possibly put together for Jay Norvell. I'm all in, man. I'm bold on it, and I wanted to keep being bold on it. So that's my 14.
I fucking love it. My 13 is another G5. We talked about him a little bit earlier. The Raging Cajuns of Lafayette. This team, they come into the Big 12, they win. That's just what happens. They do it consistently. They're going to do it again this year. They're going to kick the shit out of Texas. And I think they're the most talented team in the Sun Belt. Yeah, Coastal Carolina is good. Yeah, App State is usually pretty consistently good. But I think ULL is the team to beat in that conference, and I think they're going to be fucking good this year.
I'm 100% down with it, man. I don't know why my Google feed thinks I want to know about the Texas Longhorns practice updates every single day. It must just be because, they're hearing me say fuck Texas constantly. Even when nobody's around, I'm just talking to the dog, and I'm like, Ruby, fuck Texas. So yeah. I think my phone's been listening in, and from what I'm seeing, Stark isn't too crazy about his quarterbacks, and that's what I was seeing on paper, too. When I'm looking at it, I'm like, this team doesn't really have a fucking quarterback. I don't know how great this offense is going to be. I mean, they got Bijan. That's good. Yeah, dude, I really do think they're going to lose that Lafayette game, and what a way to kick off the fuck Texas tour 2021. I can't wait. My 13 is not ranked by the AP poll, and I'm not hearing anybody give this team any fucking real love this offseason. It's the Liberty Flames. They bring back fucking everything, dude. Everything is back for this team. They were great last year. They beat Coastal Carolina in the Go Fuck Yourselves Bowl. This team is good. They lost one piece. It was a wide receiver to the NFL draft, and they bring in J.J. Holloman, who started his career with the University of Georgia, and then he got kicked off the team for behavioral issues off the field. He went to FIU. He played one game during the COVID year, tore it up, but he didn't really play much. And now he's with Hugh Freeze in Liberty. He is the main target for Malik Willis. Just an embarrassment of riches all over that field. We got to remember, this team just came up to FBS level. Hugh Freeze is just getting his guys going. I think there is no way that this team is not better than they were last year. I'm all in on Liberty, man. I think they're going to be good.
So in hindsight, I am actually disappointed with myself. I do not have Liberty ranked. In hindsight, for me, I would definitely kick Michigan off this list and put Liberty somewhere. I would flip it around.
Yeah, that's fair enough, dude. I can't wait to watch that team. I can't wait for the Ole Miss game.
I cannot wait for that Ole Miss game. My number 12 team, we talked about them a little bit earlier, so I'll make it short. It's the UNC Tar Heels, North Carolina. I have them right outside the top 10. I think with that offense, even losing what they did, that offense is still going to be one of the best in the entire country. And as long as they have that offense, they can beat anybody. If that defense even just takes a marginal step forward, this team is dangerous. They are alive for the ACC. They're the team to beat in the Coastal, and I think it's hard to – I have Pitt potentially doing it, but it's hard to see any team in the Coastal taking them down.
Yeah, and I mean their schedule lines up really nicely to do it too. I mean, we will know a lot about them week 1 against Virginia Tech, and I will form a lot of my opinions off of them week 1 against Virginia Tech because I'm planning on betting UNC, and if they fuck me, I'm going to hate them the whole year. So we'll see.
There you go. That's the way to inform your opinion on a team.
Yes, exactly. If you fuck me week 1, we're not going to be friends. I am going at number 12. I am going Washington Huskies. They're the AP poll's number 20. They got 2 or 3 solid running backs. They got a good O-line. They got a great defense. Jimmy Lake's a defensive guy. He's going to be ground and pound, punch all these Pac-12 teams in the mouth, a style of football they're not going to want to play. As the season gets later and it gets colder out there, teams are not going to want to go travel to play Washington. And then all they got to do is figure out the quarterback situation, which they're really high on that Dylan Morris. I was not, because they kept kind of referring to him as a game manager, and he threw 4 picks to 5 touchdowns. So that doesn't scream game manager to me. I'm a little worried about that. if he doesn't work out, you got Sam Heward, their best quarterback prospect of all time, just sitting there waiting in the wings. So I think there's a lot to love about this Washington team. And yeah, I got him at 12.
Talk about a lot to love. I actually have Washington as my number 10 team. The Huskies are going to light it up. I love the unknown, but I just have to put faith in Jimmy Lake. He seems to know what he's doing. He's been with the program for a long time, and I feel like they're not really going to miss a beat. It sucks that he had COVID year as his first year, but I'm going to call that a year zero. Give it to him year one. He's going to take the Pac-12 by storm.
Yeah, dude. Is that weird? I guess both of us then, we're both really – like, this is one of the coaches I can remember just really being more blindly in on than any other coach that really hasn't proven anything. I'm all about this.
Like, he's proven himself defensively. His defenses have been stellar, and he's been one of the best at defending specifically the air raid since of like any coach that I've ever seen. And maybe I might be jaded just because I had Bo Pelini as like a head coach, and if there's someone who can't defend the air raid is Bo Pelini, but still.
That's fair enough. I think for me too, what it was is when Peterson retired, kind of like spur of the moment, it didn't seem like there was a panic out there in Washington. And I think it's because they just knew they had a good guy up on deck with Jimmy Lake. You know?
I think so. So that was my number 10. My number 11 team are the Penn State Nittany Lions. People might be writing them off because of 2020 where they just had an abysmal year. But if you look at the stats, they were outgaining teams left and right. They just couldn't put it together. I'm going to put that on COVID. I think Penn State, they will rise back to the top as the second best team in the East, the only team to generally be able to challenge Ohio State in the conference consistently. I think they get back to that level. I love Sean Clifford. I love this team. That defense is going to be legit. And I like James Franklin. I know some people are just kind of like waning on him as a head coach. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he gets it done this year.
Yeah, I'm one of them that's not a huge Franklin guy, but I mean, that's why I have him at 25. They had a rough year last year, but I do believe in the team. I think the team has a lot of talent. I think Penn State is always going to have a lot of talent. So I'm there with you. I think they're going to win 9 or 10 games. I'm right on board.
I think I'm ranking them preseason where I see their potential.
Yeah,
that's where I'm ranking them right now.
That is fair enough. Hey, man, when it's your own list, you can rank them whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
Number 11, I'm going with talking about seeing potential. Unranked by the AP poll, I'm putting them at 11. This is my highest unranked team. It's TCU, the Horned Frogs. Woo! I'm in on this team. I'm in on it, man. Gary Patterson's bringing back a lot. I am really big on Max Duggan. I think that dude is a dark horse Heisman contender. I would be much more bullish on TCU if their schedule wasn't so fucking hard. But I think that this team is, if it's not OK State, it's got to be this team that's just that third team in that conference that's nipping and clawing at everybody, fighting for position. And how can you not trust Gary Patterson? I'm in. I love this team. I love what they have, and I think they're primed for a big year.
They were my coin flip with Oklahoma State. They're right outside my top 25.
Yep.
My number 10 team was the Washington Huskies. We talked very extensively about Jimmy Lake. Love them. Love the pick. I actually see them winning the Pac-12. I'm not going to say I see them winning the Pac-12. I see them definitely competing in a Pac-12 championship. Or if I would like my wallet, I did put a ticket on Cal. So
there you go, man. That's
my long shot.
I love Cal, so I'm fully on board with that. My number 10 is the team that I have winning the Pac-12. They're the AP polls 24th ranked team, Utah, the Utes. I'm right there, man. That's my favorite to win the Pac-12. I love what this team has. They brought back a lot. Their defense is going to be absolutely elite this year. Kyle Whittingham he's gonna do what Kyle Whittingham does. It's just what it is. He's gonna win. He brought in a lot of pieces from the transfer portal. He brought in Charlie Brewer at quarterback. It's all there for him. We know he's a good coach. Let's just watch it fucking go.
Utah is my number 8 team in the country. I actually have them as a fringe playoff team.
Nice. Me too.
Yeah, I think Utah, like, they win the Pac-12 if they can just get by. I feel like a Pac-12 team has to go undefeated, which is tough. It's super tough. But I think if any team can do it, fucking Kyle Whittingham, the Giant Slayers of Utah can do it.
Yes, sir. I mean, if Clemson or Alabama drops 2 games, maybe even that one loss can get them there.
If they drop 2, they would have to drop 2, though.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no way, like, if Clemson is going in with one loss, or like literally if every conference champion is a one-loss conference champion, the Pac-12 is the one that's going to get left out. It sucks, but that's probably what's going to happen.
I agree. And even if Clemson has 2 losses, a one-loss Utah would probably still get. But yeah,
that's so disgusting. Yeah, but they're my number 8 team. My number 9 team, Texas A&M. I think they're clawing their way up to the top, up to the big boys table. They've been pretending and screaming and shouting and throwing tantrums to go from the kids table that Texas A&M really belongs at to the adults table, and I think they're almost there. They are recruiting like crazy. They have been forever. This is basically their put up or shut up year.
Yeah,
I think Jimbo Fisher is a good enough coach, and I think they put up. But after they put up, they're going to collapse like Jimbo Fisher teams. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, they're also my number 9 team, so I am lockstep with you there, buddy. Their AP poll is number 6. They had a great season last year in an all SEC schedule. They have an easy ass schedule this year. They only play like 3 games on a college campus that isn't College Station. They have 2 neutral site games, one of which is in Texas against Arkansas. So I guess just fuck you, Arkansas. Yeah, this team has a really, really, really favorable schedule, even as far as drawing Alabama at home, which I don't think they're going to beat them, but that's your best shot. So there's a lot of questions on this team, but none of them are on defense. The defense is going to be nasty. And I think the offense with Isaiah Spiller is going to be – I think it's going to be good, man. I think this team's a dark horse for the playoff, unfortunately, because I hate them. But
I hate them. I hate them so much. This really is like a put up or shut up year. Like if you aren't even competitive against Alabama, just fucking stop. Just shut up.
I agree, because this should be the year you should be right there with them.
God fucking man. My number 8 team was the Utah Utes. Still love them. I want this team to do everything good. This team is I love Utah.
Yeah, same here. And what a great home field advantage they have too. That means so much. I mean, it's one of the best in the country. So awesome. My number 8 is the one time I think on this whole list that I agreed with the AP poll. I did go with the Cincinnati Bearcats. Yeah, they're just there. All they got to do is prove it on the field. We all know what Cincinnati's all about. They have everything they need. They did lose DC Marcus Freeman, and that sucks. But they brought in Mike Tressel. So we'll see what the hell happens. I think he's still going to do a good job, and they still have all the pieces. All they got to do is go and win the games. The big ones in question, of course, at Indiana and at Notre Dame. So let's see what you do, Bearcats.
Basically, like they're returning so much, you have to have them basically as your top G5, in my opinion. They look the part, and I have them as my number 7 team. Everything you just said rings true. They are the best on paper. They just really have to go out and prove it. I could definitely see them losing a potential AAC game just because that conference is super difficult. I don't see them walking away undefeated, which sucks. But, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no question that this team would really have to shoot themselves in their own foot and probably lose 3 games and the AAC championship to not make a New Year's 6. I mean, that should be their worst case scenario for the team this year. So, yeah, got to have them top 10. That's where they should land by the end of the year. My number 7, I got Oregon, the Ducks. Talent-wise, this team could be a playoff team, and they should win the Pac-12. I'll tell you that right now. The only position I'm not sold on is quarterback, Anthony Brown. I don't know what that's all about. I really can't believe that Cristobal doesn't have another quarterback in line somewhere. However, they're extremely talented on defense. Every other position on offense is nasty. The only reason that this team's not going to end up in a position to win the Pac-12 is Cristobal. I just don't believe him as a coach. That's it.
Bad thing for my list. I actually don't have Oregon on here. That was a mistake on my part. They are just up there with Washington, in my opinion. I'll kick off Kentucky. I'm sorry, Beho. Maybe you're not watching anymore. Get rid of Kentucky. I would put Oregon right up there with Washington.
Yeah, that's fair.
My number 6 team. I feel like these top 6 everyone's going to have in just different orders.
Absolutely.
My number 6 team is the Ohio State Buckeyes. They're returning. It's 5 and 6 to me. You can flip them, flop them either way. I could put these teams in almost any order, but they're returning so little I know they have probably the best wide receiver duo in the nation, but the unprovenness at quarterback and the holes they have to fill at defense, and I'm not sold. I mean, they're probably the favorite to win the Big Ten. They're easily that, but I just don't. I can't see them competing with the teams at like 1 through 4 right now.
Is your number 5 Alabama then?
My number 5 is Clemson.
Oh, okay. I actually have Alabama at 6, and OSU is my number 5.
Okay.
So I think OSU. I mean, everything. Echo everything you just said, man. I hate this team enough, and I've hated them for years enough to know to not underrate them and to just accept that they are going to piss me off every single fucking week. And they are insanely talented, and Ryan Day's a good coach. So I just really –
I could easily see by the end of the year this is like a top 3 team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
every year it's every fucking year with this team.
They're the number 1 team that I think has the best chance to be in the playoffs. No questions asked. There's only 2 teams that I would say without argument would be Oklahoma and OSU are probably going to end up there just because of their schedules and their talent. OSU, I think the reason, if I want to really just put a pin in this, the reason that I have them above Bama, it's just that wide receiver room. Alabama lost a lot more. I mean, they both have new quarterbacks. They both have a bunch of new pieces all over the offense. They both had kind of underwhelming defenses last year. So they're both replacing a ton of players. It's just the offense for OSU. Those receivers are just stupid good. Best wide receiving core in the entire nation. And they also have a little bit more proven at running back, bringing back for me than Alabama does. So I have Alabama at 6 and OSU at 5.
I actually have Clemson at 5. I have Alabama's my number 4 team. I just think Nick Saban's done it. I can't fade him. He's going to put a top 4 team out there. He's just going to fucking do it. Bryce Young, for all I know, he's going to come out and be another fucking Heisman candidate. That defense is actually going to be Alabama's defense. The players they have coming up to be in that defense is going to be legit this year. It's going to be fucking like they're going to obviously take a step back in offense because you almost have to. But that defense is going to be markedly improved. It's going to be a scary out. Clemson is my number 5 team. DJ Uiagalelei is going to be amazing. He's going to have a cannon for an arm. I'm banking on him still being kind of fresh, still needing to develop a little bit. And Clemson, they're losing. They lost a lot. They lost some receivers. They lost one of the best running backs in the country. That defense, I think, still might have some holes in it. I'm just not sold on Clemson right now. I mean, not sold on Clemson. They're still a top 5 fucking team in the country.
Right. I have them at 4. And pretty much everything you just said, I am a little more sold on their defense than you are. They've been a consistently better ranked defense as far as ranking. Now they play worse teams, so this is probably why. But they've had a consistently higher ranked defense than Alabama lately. And they bring back a ton on defense, especially in a way of upperclassmen. So, and they just got punched in the mouth by OSU, just physically manhandled. I expect their defense to be a lot more physical this year, which I think is going to make that team a lot deadlier. Like you said, DJU, I'm completely on board with him. I think he's going to be really good. Their running backs are what got to prove it to me. I do not see a great running team when I look at this roster. However, their wide receivers, I think they're second best in the nation after OSU. I know they lost some pieces, but those guys that they have still there are nasty.
They are nasty. Really good.
And they just got Justin Ross back.
If we go by history, I mean, those 3 are probably going to be top 3 teams in the fucking country. I've seen plenty of people put Clemson as their number 1. I can't – when it comes to 1 through 6 to me, 1 through 6, you could put any of these teams at number 1. Maybe sans the team I have at number 3 is Iowa State.
Same
I have Iowa State there. They're returning so much on a team that was the best team in program history. They were people will write them off because they lost to Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game. They were coming. That game was closer than a lot of people want to fucking admit.
Yeah. I mean, there's like you said, anybody can make an argument for anybody in the top 6. I also have Iowa State at 3. And I could make an argument for Iowa State at number 1. You're just not going to do it. You're just not going to do it because they're Iowa State. And that's all. But if people really just stop, don't look at the names and just look at the rosters, Iowa State brings everything to the table that you would expect a number one team in the nation to bring. And that's why they're above Clemson, OSU, and Alabama for me, because they have more back and it's more proven. I'm on board. Matt Campbell, let's fucking do this thing. I'm ready to go.
Let's fucking go. Number 1 and number 2. I wonder how you have these teams in order. I assume we have the same 2 teams. Just depends on the order. My number 2 team in the country are the Georgia Bulldogs. I think this is the team that will win the SEC. I have them beating Clemson week 1. And I think last year, if JT Daniels would have played, they would have given Alabama a game. I think they could have been the most competitive team against Alabama if JT Daniels would have played, because then they would have actually had a pulse on offense. This defense is nasty. JT Daniels is one of the best quarterbacks in the nation for a reason. And I think finally we see a Georgia team that actually has an offense with a pulse, and that gets them back in a national championship. It doesn't get them the win, but it gets them back in.
I'm getting really, really scared at how many times I'm hearing people, because I'm right on board. Georgia, the Bulldogs, they are my number 2 team in the country. If I had to absolutely guess, I would say at the end of the year, Georgia is going to be the number 1 team in the country. That's my prediction. I think they're going to go undefeated. I think they're going to run the table. I think they're going to win the SEC. Everything you just said, I echo 100%. JT Daniels, the whole mix. I think it's Kirby Smart's year. My only thing is I'm just getting scared of how often I'm hearing that, because
it is a very scary thing. I'm worried. I'm also, you can never really count on Kirby Smart to be like, to let the offense kind of fly.
Yeah. He's the one guy. I mean, him and Matt Campbell, I guess, are the top 2 that got to prove it. He's right in that category. He's not, he hasn't done it yet. Got to see it.
It's true. And our number 1 teams, I can only assume we have the same team. Fuck them forever, but damn it, they're really good. It's the Oklahoma Sooners. Holy shit, this team is bringing back so much. They're bringing back the Heisman frontrunner. They're bringing back so much. This offense is always going to be a top 5 offense. And this defense, they're in the Big 12, so no one thinks they play fucking defense. But this defense is legit.
No, Alex Grinch got that defense. He's done very, very well. He's got the defense looking legit. They're my number 1 team also, obviously. Honestly, as far as bringing back talent, my 1 through 3 are my favorite teams. Like, if they didn't have names on the jerseys or names on everything that I was reading, if I didn't know who they were, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Iowa State would be the top 3 with what they're bringing back on their rosters. They could be so interchangeable. Oklahoma's my number 1 because when you go a step further and you look at the schedule, it's just so fucking easy. They just have everything given to them this year. Any of their tough games, they're put in really good spots that they should win. They're going to be favored in every single game. So, fucking Oklahoma, number 1. They're really talented, and Spencer Rattler's probably going to win the fucking Heisman. So good for you, Oklahoma.
He's at least going to be fucking lights out. That offense is going to be so fucking crazy, like it is every year under Lincoln Riley. Guys, he's a great fucking coach.
He really is. I hope he stays around for a long time and goes to the SEC, and it could be really interesting. I'm not as mad at Oklahoma for going to the SEC. I don't really know why. I think it's because Texas had so many other benefits with the Longhorn Network and everything else, and just that they're not good. I'm actually fine with seeing Oklahoma play Alabama from time to time and shit. I want to see it. So I'm a little more on board. It still pisses me off, but I'm a little more on board than I am with Texas.
I'm a little bit more on board. I feel the fact that they're just following Texas. I fucking hate them for that, but I can't hate them as much as I hate the Longhorns.
Yeah, it's impossible. Fuck Texas.
Fuck Texas. Okay. That's our top 25 list. I hate preseason lists in general, except for ours. Follow ours to a T. I need to switch mine up. We're going to drop Kentucky and Michigan for the final bit of it and put Oregon in there.
Yeah, man.
Got to put both those people for sure.
That's going to help people so much too. When they go to bet these games and they see, an unranked Oregon's playing or Auburn's playing this team, they could be like, hey, GCG got Auburn at number 24. This is ridiculous. They got to win this game. So, yeah, we're helping the people, man. People helping people. People helping people.
Exactly. Speaking of people helping people, we got some week 0 in our face. Are you fucking excited, my man, for some week 0 play?
There's no words I could put in that would say how excited I fucking am for this week 0 when really the games don't even look that fucking good. But who cares, man? I know you got to be pumped about the first game, right?
Dude, I am so fucking excited. Nebraska, Illinois, coming at your fucking face. We're starting off. Let's just fucking break these down. First game, Nebraska -7 versus Illinois. What do you think?
Dude. I mean, looking at it, the -7. This is a game like I was really kind of torn back and forth on. Looking at it, Nebraska honestly probably shouldn't be a 7-point favorite on the road when you really consider the fact that Illinois does bring back a lot of bullshit, but it's a lot from a team that really laid it on Nebraska last year. So, and they lost by 18 points. Nebraska lost by 18 in Nebraska last year. So that was really rough. But Frost is 2-1 versus Illinois. Overall, he beat him by 19 points. He beat him by 4 points. He lost by 18. Nebraska has a super experienced D-line. That's going to help them a lot. The run defense is going to help them a lot. They need to get better against the run, but with how experienced that D-line is, I think that the run game for Illinois with, I believe his name is Chase Brown or Cam Brown, one of the two, it's going to be very predictable. Bielema is going to run a very predictable offense, and I think Nebraska, that Turney, the wide receiver that they got from the University of Montana, he's 6'4".
He's fucking good.
I am all over this dude. I think he is a fucking weapon that people do not see coming, and I can't wait. And I got Nebraska -7. Fuck it, I'm rolling.
I'm going to go Nebraska -7. I would probably advise people. It's so hard because you have no idea. Illinois is one of those teams we have no idea what to expect. Nebraska, they were bad in 2020, but like even in 2019, they've been bad for a long time now. But even in 2019, they took it to Minnesota. They took it to Illinois. They take it to bad teams generally. And I think Scott Frost comes out with a lot to prove. That defense is stalwart. What I would say is take Nebraska -7. That's what I'm going to do as a homer. And then I'm taking under 55 points.
Dude, lockstep. I would play the under of that game as well. And I think Nebraska lays it on, man. I've grown more and more confident in that from almost thinking that I should just blindly take Illinois to now I am balls deep in Nebraska -7. I love it.
I would love to see like a -4.5, but
yeah, hopefully it gets bet down a little bit.
I'll fucking take the -7. Up next, we have the UConn. What are they? The Huskies?
Yes,
UConn
sir.
Huskies traveling all the way to the Fresno State Bulldogs. Fresno State is a 27.5-point favorite. And I see no reason not to bet the -27.5.
Yeah, I mean, talking about a team where you have no fucking idea what to expect. Randy Edsall and the Huskies didn't even play football last year. So, yeah, what do you fucking expect? It's really going to be tough to know what they're going to bring. Normally, this is about the time Edsall turns around a program. I don't know if he's got it this year. They went 2-10 in 2019, so there's not a whole lot to really break down in this game. I would say you want something fun to watch on UConn side of the ball. Kevin Mensah, the running back, he's closing in on Donald Brown's school rushing record for the UConn Huskies. So that's cool. That's all well. That's all good. However, this is a far fucking travel, and Fresno State has a lot on this team. They have 3 top-tier wide receivers. Ronnie Rivers is a sick-ass running back. Quarterback looks good. Everything's there. You can't be on the Huskies side of this game. You got to lay the points if you're betting the game.
You definitely have to. UConn is almost, especially taking a whole year off, they're an auto fade. They're back to auto fade level. Up next,
it has to be.
We have the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, one of my favorite teams, coming to the mainland to take on UCLA, who is a 17-point favorite.
Yeah.
Just too many points.
I know, like on paper, there's not a lot of reasons that Hawaii should really, like, honestly even be able to make this a game. They're honestly, even though they're a decent team, they're out. They have the 105th best or worst rush defense, worst because they were 105th in the country against the 20th rushing offense in the country last year for UCLA. That right there, there's a huge talent disparity. Obviously, you're talking Power 5, a legitimate school with Chip Kelly recruiting against Hawaii. They're still dealing with fucking COVID shit all over there. That they're playing at a high school field. I don't know what the shit Todd Graham got going on over there. However, I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, UCLA has a lot of time to prepare for this game and be ready for it. And it's not necessarily like it's a look ahead. I just think UCLA wants to get this game fucking over with fast and get ready for LSU. And I think Hawaii is just feisty enough that they could stick around and kind of piss UCLA off, or at the very least get a backdoor cover in the second half. I do like Hawaii getting the points.
Also, just as a fun thing, I want to take the over 68. I just want to see that. I would love that.
That would be great.
I'm going to take that. This is going to be like a 30. I mean, UCLA will get like 40-some points on Hawaii, and Hawaii will probably at least get like 30.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I'm balls deep in this game for fantasy, so I'm all about
as you
it,
should
be. Yeah. I Cordiero and Cam Turner, that little scat back for Hawaii, that he does everything: kick return, wide receiver, running back. Yeah. All over that team, all over mostly actually the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, but I got some Bruins pieces. But it's going to be a fun game, really fun game. I'm taking the points though.
Up next, we have the UTEP Miners versus the New Mexico State. Don't even know what they are. They're just bad. I'm just going to say it. New Mexico State's real bad. They played this year. They lost to a team that just rose up from D2.
Yeah, they're bringing back like 2 players on their entire roster. So I guess maybe that's good.
Addition by subtraction?
By subtraction of like fucking 50 players. I don't know. This is the only time that this game could be compelling because it's week 0 and you don't have a lot of football to watch. So here's the deal, man. UTEP, they beat Stephen F. Austin by 10 last year, and they beat Abilene Christian by 4. No, New Mexico State sucks, but I don't know. You would probably have to go down to Division II football team before I'm laying 9.5 with the UTEP Miners on the fucking road. I'm just not going to do it. I'm taking the points with New Mexico State, and I don't really know an argument the other way.
I can't in old good conscience bet on New Mexico State. I think this is the one game UTEP sees this game. And they're just like, holy shit, we have a chance. We're going to win it. Dana Dimma will get his boys up for this one, and they're going to fucking come out and crush New Mexico State. I'm taking UTEP -9, and so is my boy on YouTube, James Lill. He's taking UTEP -9, Fresno -27, under 55, and Nebraska -7.
I'm with them for 2 of the 3, man. And hey, UTEP, that's not a dumb pick.
I think you're with him on 3 of those ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, he's with you on 3 of them. I'm not laying that 9.
No, but I mean, he's under 55 at Nebraska too. Yeah,
right, and that's money. That's almost the best play of the day.
I think the under 55 Nebraska Illinois is the best play of the weekend.
I think it is too. What's the Fresno UConn over under? I didn't look at that
one. I think it's still pretty high. Yeah, it's 62.5. Give me under that too.
Yeah,
I don't think UConn scoring.
No, I don't know how they're going to.
This would be like a 42 to like a 48 to like 10. And even then, well, I guess 40, if it's 48 to 10, you're still under.
You're still under. Yeah, by 4. Dude. That's an under.
Yeah, give me 2 under right there.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's way too high.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with week 1 unders, man.
I'm going to take the over in Hawaii UCLA, but that's just me trying to manifest it into reality.
That game should have a lot of fireworks. Dude, whether or not – if UCLA might fucking dominate that game, but Hawaii is going to be fucking around late. There's going to be points late in that game no matter what. There's no circumstance where there isn't. So that over's cash. That
over better fucking be. Do you have any more week 0 takes? This is just kind of like, in my opinion, as a Nebraska fan, this is the most important fucking game of the year. It's starting out because Nebraska, the one thing Scott Frost has never had is momentum. And I know momentum's some like bullshit thing that doesn't really exist. It doesn't exist in a game, but I think throughout a season, it does. It boosts morale in the team, and it gets players invested. If you don't win against Illinois, that basically shoots down your chance at a fucking bowl game, and you need that right now.
Well, you know what I think? You know what I think a really good coach does is takes bullshit morale and turns it into something. Like beating Illinois, that shouldn't be like a big deal to Nebraska. It really shouldn't. But if you're a good coach, take that with your boys. Hey, this team came into fucking Lincoln last year, 1 year ago, and whipped our ass. Let's go out there. They got a new fucking coach. Let's put our dicks down their fucking throats and just whip them up and down the field. Then turn it into momentum, man. I think Scott Frost can do that kind of thing. I think we've seen him do it with UCF and make that team believe that they won a national championship, which I'm fine with. I think he's that kind of coach, and I think he could do it. Is that what you would think would be the most likely upset?
I mean, it has to. Hawaii maybe. Those are the two. Illinois over Nebraska, Hawaii over UCLA. I can't see UConn doing it, and I can't see New Mexico State. Like even if it's close, I feel like that's more UTEP just playing that level than like New Mexico State being good. So I just can't see them winning.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I would be really fucking surprised if New Mexico State wins that game,
like,
or any game.
The two Power 5 games seem to be like the only two that actually even have a chance of an upset. But I would say, yeah, Illinois, like just because we have no idea what they're going to look like, and honestly, we really have no idea what Nebraska is going to look like. They're bringing back so little on offense. We have no idea what that offense is going to look like.
I think Hawaii would be my pick for the most likely upset. I really fucking think Nebraska is going to lay it on them. I think this is the year we see the corner turned is what I'm trying to say. I think this is the year we fucking see it. I think adding that piece in Torrey, adding that big wide receiver is going to help you downfield so much. And all you really have to do is find a running back to lean on just a little bit to take some pressure off of fucking Adrian Martinez, having to run and throw and be the entire offense. Divvy it up, rely on that defense a little bit. You don't have to go fucking crazy, but I mean, you're going to know everything. Bert's just running the fucking ball, dude. He's not going to do anything else. I think they got this game. I think it's going to be a big win.
I fucking hope so. I'm getting back into the jaded Nebraska fan. I've been talking to too many people that are just like they have no faith. They've been burned too many times. I need to. I think by Friday I'll be back on the train of us winning the Big Ten West. I'm hitting that preseason low. I'm going to get back on the high on the roller coaster. It'll all be fine. We're going to go in. Best bet, though, is still that Nebraska-Illinois under 55. That's my best pick.
I think I might be in on the Fresno under a little bit more.
Both those unders are – I mean, I'm going to parlay them both. Fuck it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see how you don't. There's no way. There's no way. If that game's close, it's because UConn is playing some good fucking defense. And it's going to be low scoring, but that game's not going to be close. And I don't see UConn scoring either way.
Yeah, either fucking way. That'll do it for our week 0 preview, top 25, Jimnasium Tailgate. My man, where can the people find you?
You can find me, as always, on Twitter at 32CourtVision. And, of course, BTV, College Football Fast Fives, 1 week left of wrapping this thing up where I'm just giving you content to give you content to get you ready for the season, because then the season's going to fucking be here and I could get back on BTV making picks where it's free, where all you have to do is create a profile and shoot a video for free and give people picks and let the people follow you just like you're following us right now. So BTV, better than .Vegas, find me there, Twitter, 32CourtVision.
There you fucking go. You can find me everywhere, folks. Twitter at XFL Jim. CFL Jim is always on my account, giving out great CFL picks. He went 3-1 last week. The dude is coming back. He had a rough week, too, with the CFL, but he's coming back for a tear. Also, because college football starts this week, that also means the return of hashtag Garage Certified for college football. NFL to soon come. Probably in September when the NFL actually starts. That's going to be awesome. YouTube is coming out left and right. I actually have a video dropping tomorrow or today if you're listening to this. Depends when you're listening to it. The video might already be out. It's the behind the scenes when my lovely podcast Jimnasium co-host Chase came and visited. It's behind the scenes of all that shit. Awesome stuff. And, of course, you can also find me on betterthan.Vegas. Vegas, along with my buddy here, the Gulf Coast guru himself, giving out picks. I've been picking baseball. I've been picking NFL preseason like a motherfucker. CFL. If it's played with a ball, I will bet it. Even if it's not, like I bet sumo before. It's what we're fucking about here.
What do you bet on that? Just the winner straight up?
Yeah, usually just you bet winner. I think some places you can bet like over under how long the match will last.
Time.
But generally you just go, it's just straight up winner. And then you can bet like who's gonna have the most wins during a tournament.
Okay, fair enough.
Fuck the hell yes. Thank you for listening, everybody. As always, go follow us on all like social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the whole shebang. We're everywhere. Follow the show. Follow the Jimnasium. If you're listening to us, please give us a follow. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Google Podcasts. We are fucking everywhere. We appreciate it. We love you guys. That'll do it. College football is here. It is coming, and so am I. Thank you very much for listening. Peace the fuck out. And fuck Texas forever.